Oh, hello. Welcome once again to Speakeasy with Paul F. Tompkins. I am still Paul F. Tompkins. You will recognize my guest this time out from his role on Orange is the New Black, as well as a few other things. Please say hello to Jason Biggs. Jason, hi, thanks for being here.
Paul, thanks for having me.
Pleasure to see you.
Salute.
I hope we have touched cucumbers.
Yes, of course. Refreshing.
Of course, people know you from the American Pie series of films, which was your first big break. Not to say that's when you started acting, because I just found out you won a daytime Emmy.
Well,
Oh, is this not true?
Well, you're kind of true. I was nominated for a daytime
Nominated.
Emmy. Yeah, I was robbed.
Who beat you for that?
You know, some punk from General Hospital.
Because you were on, was it?
I was on As the World Turns.
As the World Turns.
Yeah, I was on As the World Turns. It's interesting. I was fired from As the World Turns, and I was 15 or 16, I guess, and they said it was for storyline reasons. I don't know what the real reason was. I thought, but I like to think that,
You did not believe them though when they said it was for storyline reasons.
At the time, I had to believe them because otherwise I would have killed myself. I mean, I'm 15 years old. I'm like a high school kid, but I'm a professional actor, and I got called into the executive producer's office, and he sat me down and told me what was happening. Said, listen, we're going in a different direction with the character. It's not, the storyline just isn't working anymore. It's not your fault, but you're great. We love you, and you'll be done next week. And I was just sitting there, and I'm like, am I getting fired? I'm like, I'm in fucking high school, so this isn't weird. I'm not supposed to be getting fired. What is this? This is so weird. I was really well liked.
What was the name of your character?
My character's name was Pete Wendell. Yeah, my character's name was Pete Wendell. And the storyline had gone all different crazy directions, as happens in the world of soap operas.
As the world turns.
As the world turns.
Yes.
And I think the last sort of big storyline thing for Pete Wendell was he and his mom found $850,000 of stolen ransom money, took it for themselves, and started spending it on like random things too. It would be like my character would show up with like a new pair of ice skates. And it was like the cheesiest,
Something suspicious here.
Yeah. It was
Where did Pete Wendell get the money for new ice skates?
Like literally words that was said. I think you read the script, and then we got caught, and then I was sent to live with my grandmother in Seattle or something, so that was how they got me off the show. The Daytime Emmy nominations, full circle, were announced soon after I was fired. And yours truly was the only person from As the World Turns nominated that year.
Are there lessons that you learned on that set that you still take with you today? Because it's a very formative time for you.
I remember sort of getting in trouble, if you will, where it would be one of these sort of long nights, and I would be just kind of joking around and kind of class clowny, and I had there was no one else my age in the show at the time, so it was like all these adults, and some of whom I got along with and who liked joking around with me. They're like, oh, the fun young kid, and they would play with me, and then others who had been on the show for years and years and years, who were like, who is this punk little kid that's fucking around and not that I didn't take it seriously. I don't know. There were times where I think I might have went too far with that, and I remember feeling bad about it. I remember like a real sense of learning what the lines were that I shouldn't cross on a set.
And timing, because I was a class clowny kid too, and I remember that realization of like whatever situation I was in, wanting to like make some joke, and then realizing, this is not the time.
Maybe not the time, yeah. Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's like I'm constantly trying to think of something because it's a defense mechanism, it's insecurity, it is what it is. Yeah. Whatever it is for each person, that's what it is for me. And it's like, so I'm constantly trying, it's like sometimes you just gotta know when to not say a word.
Yeah, and it's a relief. It's a weird relief.
It is
like,
a weird relief.
Oh, thank God I didn't say that.
Totally, 1,000%. That's so true. And still to this day, I mean, there are so many moments where like, I'll be on the brink and I'll like let it go, and then you know, a few moments will go by and I'll think back to that moment. I'll be like, you know, just based on where the conversation has now gone, I'll be like, oh, thank God I didn't say that. Jesus Christ.
Right.
You know, like that would have sucked. It really would have like taken the conversation this way and I would have looked like an asshole. And
The best is when somebody else does it.
oh, it's
and
the
you're
best.
like, oh,
This
idiots.
guy.
I'm
What
glad
a
you said
fool.
that thing that I was thinking of saying.
Totally.
You were still pretty young when you did American Pie.
Yeah, I was still.
Were you even in
still
your
pretty young.
20s?
I came out in '97 to Los Angeles. So I was 19 when I auditioned for American Pie, 20 when I shot it, and 21, conveniently, when it came out.
Did you even have any sense that it was going to be like a big hit at that point?
Not when we were shooting it.
Right.
I mean, I'll say this. That was the summer of the teen movie. I mean, that was like, if to be a teen or someone who looked like a teen.
If you could pass for a teen.
If you could pass for a teen, you were going out on everything. I mean, this was the era of She's All That and Screams and, you know, all...
10 things I hate about you.
10 Things I Hate About You.
Oh, I got one in.
Nice.
So were you auditioning for all of these movies?
Every single
Right.
one. I mean, I do remember reading the script for American Pie. It wasn't called American Pie at the time, but
Was it called Pie Fuckers?
it was called Pie Fuckers.
I think I remember reading
We
that
had an
somewhere.
MPAA issue and they changed
Right.
it. Yeah. Then they changed it to Pie Screwers and they were like, come on guys, you're trying to pull a fast one.
Either do it or don't.
I can't.
Yeah.
Exactly. Still can't do it, guys. All right? Pie Screwer's not going to work. Yeah. But I remember reading this script. I'll never forget where I was, sitting on, you know, laying on the shitty futon in my shitty apartment, you know, in West LA near the freeway and going, man, this is pretty damn funny.
In the midst of all those teen comedies, it was raunchy in a way that
The others
none of
weren't.
those were not
and
at all.
the others tried. Like I think in like She's All That, there was like a scene where a kid eats a piece of pizza or something that had pubes on it, you know, and you know they tried, but then also in that same movie there was like a big musical number and where all the kids danced in, you know, to a choreographed dance at prom, and it was like, yeah, American Pie was definitely like, it stood out on paper for sure. I'll never forget the day I, you know, fucked the pie and like just thinking, what am I doing?
Right before you're about to do that.
Yeah. I called my manager freaking out.
Did you really?
I called my manager freaking out. And I just told him, I was like, am I really like, you know, about to do it? And I'll never forget, and he was like, Biggs, you fucked that pie with everything you got, man. And I was like, yeah, you know what? I'll do anything. You know, like, again, priding myself, like, I'll do anything for a laugh. Fucking, I will be that guy, no problem. And then they released this was in the early days of red band trailers. Now any sort of raunchy comedy has a red band trailer.
Yeah.
This was in the early days of that, and it was like a real sort of, you stood out if you had one. And so they released a red band trailer in the theaters, and it was a shot of me fucking the pie, like a quick shot of me fucking the pie, and the word of mouth just went through the roof, apparently. And I started to get recognized just from the trailer.
Wow.
And one of my best friends, Eddie K. Thomas, was in the film too, and we travel together, and we would take these trips to the weirdest places. I mean, we would go to places like Uruguay in South America, and we went to Fiji, this little tiny island in Fiji, where the local villagers, they don't have TV or a movie theater, they have nothing like that, but the owner of the island, he'll bring in like a movie or two like a couple times a year to show the village on a little TV or something, and I guess one of them was American Pie. And so I go to this little tiny island in Fiji on this vacation, and the villagers are going batshit for me. And you just go, man, everyone has seen this fucking movie.
You're in one of the 6 movies we've seen in our lives.
Totally. Like literally, that was it.
You may have gone through a time where you didn't want to hear about American Pie. Like it was, you know, because you're an actor, you want to do other things, and sequels aside, it's like, I plan on doing more stuff than just this one movie.
It's only recently, like really in the last like 2 years, I find, 3 years, that I finally feel like the things that people are talking to me about, and, you know, as reflected in Orange is the New Black, I think, finally getting opportunities to do roles that I feel like have caught up to where I have been I think, for a little while, you know?
So Orange is the New Black, was this something that was a difficult job for you to land? Did it take some doing, or was it like right away, no problem, you read the script, I'm in?
I definitely had to go after it, and it was weird. I think if you ask Genji Kohan, the creator of the show, now, and I remember talking to her about this, because I gave her shit, because we auditioned, it was Genji and then the director of the pilot and the director of quite a few episodes in season 1, this guy Michael Tremp, who, by the way, both of whom now, like, I just adore, and they're like the most gregarious and awesome people. All the actors out in the waiting room were like warned by the casting director, like, it's not you. They're not like laughing a lot. They're not like, they might not react a whole lot. And I remember thinking, shit, okay, well, thank you for the warning, because I definitely would have like taken it personally.
Of course,
you know?
absolutely.
How do you not?
How do you not?
How do you not?
Yeah.
So I went in, did the audition, thought I did well, didn't get much of a reaction, as predicted, walked out of there and went, they didn't laugh. Because you know what it was. In the back of your mind,
I'm
you
gonna
go,
be the one.
I'll be the one.
Yeah.
It's like,
oh, I
sure,
know.
Thanks for the warning.
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I'm sure, you know, this douchebag couldn't get him to laugh, but I will. So I left and I'm like, fuck, you know, man, they really were a hard room. And I was just like, all right, I kind of wrote, and then time just went, like, I just kind of wrote it off.
Oh yeah, because there's a period where you audition for something, and then afterwards there's a period of like a week, let's say, where you're like, did I get that thing? What's happening?
Yep.
And then after a while, you forget that it happened.
You forget that it happened.
You go on to another audition.
A million%.
Yeah, then the thing's coming out. It's like, oh, that's right.
That's right. I totally was up for that, and I guess I didn't get it. I guess I didn't get it.
Last I heard, I was still in the mix.
I was still in the mix. I was pinned. And then like another few weeks or a month after that, I get a call, and it was like, it felt to me like it was completely out of the blue, because I had sort of moved on mentally from it. I think if you asked, and I have spoken to Genji about it, she was like, oh, you were the guy. You were the guy. You walked in, you gave your read, you were the guy. You know, Orange, this character in Orange really, it plays to a part of me that I feel like has grown up quite a bit in the last few years, and personally I've been through, you know, a lot of change, and I just feel like it's finally a role that is grown up on the same level as sort of where I'm at now.
With something like this that's both funny and dramatic, you get to do a little bit more, you know, than sometimes I might do. And certainly with film, it's like you play the same person through the whole thing,
right?
You know, and that's for 90 minutes, and then you're done with that guy. But this, it has the ability to deepen. Things can change, even though it's based on a true story. But there's a lot of story there.
The original story is there, and a lot of the characters are there. But in order for this to work on a sort of serialized, long-term basis, you know, you have to eventually take liberties, and those started to be taken, you know, relatively early on in season 1.
Right.
And so I'm learning about this character as I go on. I mean, there's only so much I can. I know the real guy, and I know his story. I know everything about his story with the real Piper, and. But really, there's only so much I can draw from that, because already my character has sort of gone in a kind of different direction from where the real Larry has. You know? Just the nature of the show, it's a women's prison show, and Larry is neither a woman or in prison, and so it's in a weird way, I'm kind of doing my own little show there.
Right.
You know.
Do you feel like your phone acting has really improved?
Thank you for asking that question. Yes.
Because it's a specific thing.
It is a very specific thing.
To look like you're genuinely having a conversation on a phone.
It is really, really hard. Let me tell you a story. And I'm going to throw one person in particular under the proverbial bus.
Oh, let's do it. Bus throw is my favorite part of the show.
It, dude. So they're able to, so I have a phone. What I do is I'm connected to someone who's doing the off-camera lines with me. So one day, Taylor was there, and Taylor, love her. Taylor Schilling plays Piper. She happened to, she's usually not there on the other end of my call because she's
shooting her stuff somewhere else.
Right, or she has off that day or
Right.
whatever, and she's not going to come in to do that. I would certainly never ask her to do that, and I wouldn't expect her to want me to do it. I mean, it's just one of those things. And so, but she happened to be there that day. She like filmed a scene in the morning, then my scene was there, and then she had another scene. So she was like in her trailer. So it was like, oh, I can call you and we can actually do the scene. This day was one of the coldest days in New York, like record-setting cold, wind chill, crazy, freezing cold. And so I'm so we're shooting outside, and it's a walk and talk with a steady cam, so not an technically easy thing to shoot. So we really just need to get it right.
Yes.
Right.
Everyone wants to get it right.
As soon as possible.
Yeah.
So Taylor's gonna do the off camera through the phone with me. I'm like, this is fantastic. This is great. This will go by real quick. We'll get this done. So we're doing action, we're doing the scene, and I say my line, and then she says her line, and then I say my line, and then there's a giant gaping pause. And I like keep walking. Now, it's a walk and talk, so the timing is very specific. Like I can't keep walking without talking. It's gonna mess up the whole thing. And I'm like, Taylor, hello? She's like, sorry, I forgot my line. And I'm like, you forgot.
Read it.
Read it.
Read it.
Read the fucking. That one. Fucking read the line, Taylor. Just read the fucking line.
Gotta be kidding.
And I'm like, and the crew, the cameraman just sees me go, like that. Sorry, and he's thinking like I'm fucking up, and I'm like, it's not. It's Taylor. It's fucking Taylor, right? And I was so basic, and she did it again. And so basically, she was using that. She was in her warm, cushy trailer. She was using that as an opportunity to learn her lines because she was doing her part of it later that day.
Right.
And I'm like, Taylor, I love you. This is not the time to learn the lines. You just got to read them.
Yeah. Jason, there's no sense pretending otherwise. You're a married man with a child.
I'm with child.
Sid Biggs.
Sid Biggs.
Sid Biggs.
Sid Biggs, come on. My wife likes to say she pictures him as kind of like an old-timey gangster, pinstripe suit kind of thing. I picture him on a chaise lounge in Boca Raton, like eating a pastrami sandwich.
Either way, I want
Right.
to see this baby smoke a cigar.
Yeah, either way.
Either way.
Either way, he needs a stogie in his mouth,
That's
for
right.
sure.
That's right.
For sure. Either way.
And those big Swifty Lazar glasses.
Yes, either way, he's driving a big boat of a Cadillac.
That's right.
No matter what. Right, Sid?
So you are a father now.
Yeah.
Have you gotten advice from any of your film dads that has resonated with you now that you are a dad?
You know, I haven't seen, Eugene Levy, who played my dad in the American Pie films, is truly one of the best people, and I really do look up to him like a father figure to me. I want to be the kind of dad that he is, which is his kids now in their 20s and 30s still like want to be around their dad. That's like enough. Like, I don't know how that is accomplished, but I want to accomplish that because that's something that is harder for me to wrap my head around.
Oh, it's a major win for a parent.
Like, right?
Yeah.
So Eugene is working with his son right now. His son wrote the script and is running the show, this TV show that they're doing in Canada. And I'm just like, that is awesome. Made me insanely jealous.
What did your dad do for a living?
My dad is a manager for a shipping company in New Jersey, and they ship all kinds of goods to and fro.
Can you imagine working there with him?
Absolutely not. Not even a little bit. But like, no, I'd kill myself probably. But I mean, it's just not creative for me. It's
or
not,
him.
I'd kill him. I'd probably kill him.
Yeah.
No, but I would love going down there and visiting with him, and but he works way too hard for too little money. It's one of those jobs where it's just like, man, you work way too hard. I don't work hard enough. And
Why don't you stick him in one of your movies?
I know, I should. He's definitely a character. Yeah, he wears glasses now, but he's like a little stocky Italian meatball guy.
What's his name?
Gary.
Gary Biggs.
Gary Biggs, come on.
Forget about it.
Forget about it,
Look at these jewels out in the lumber yard.
Out in the yard, come on in. It's time for some lunch. So what do you got there? I got some gabagool on a bread, Italian bread, some gabagool and prosciutto. Let's do this.
When you hear your family.
When you hear your family.
Do you feel different now that you are someone's dad? Now, of course, your life is different, but do you trip out on the idea of being a dad?
That's a perfect way to say it.
Are you projecting into the future? Like you're seeing, this guy's gonna start talking to me.
Yes. I'm tripping the fuck out. That's exactly the way to phrase it. Because right now, he's just sort of there.
Right.
He's a baby. I've been around babies before, but there is something additional knowing that he is mine. But again, there hasn't been, you try like looking into his eyes, but he's not really connecting. I mean, he's trying, and he's starting to giggle. He's 10 weeks now, so he smiles, and like that just blows your mind. Like we're now starting to have these moments, but he's still kind of just, he's there, and he's cute as shit, and he's
adorable
awesome.
blob.
He's an adorable little blob. But we're starting to trip out on like, so he's gonna reach out for you. He'll like reach out for you, and then he'll walk towards you, and then he'll ask for you. And then he'll ask for money from you, and then he'll just suck you dry, and all, basically.
Yeah.
And no, but it's definitely tripping out on like all these sorts of concepts going down the road. And by the way, these things are not that far away. Like this is so soon, you know. And like I have friends that it seems like a day ago they had a baby, and now they're coaching Little League, and you're like, I'm gonna coach Little League? Like what? Like it seems like yesterday I was like traveling to Cape Town to party, to do cocaine and fuck chicks, and now I'm like gonna coach Little League, and it sounds awesome.
When will you let your son watch American Pie?
It's a good question.
A little earlier than probably?
Probably, probably.
Yeah.
He's
Give him a thrill, right?
Yeah, I'll probably just, he'll come home one day and I'll just be fucking a pie. And I'll be like, son.
But listen, look, cat's in the cradle, silver spoon.
Silver spoon.
This is all you need to know.
That's a very great point.
All right, well, I wish all the best to little Sid Biggs.
Thank you. I'll pass it on.
Jason, thank you so much. The new season of Orange is the New Black is on Netflix right now. Binge on it! That does it for this edition of Speakeasy. Please join me again next time when my guest will be a different person. What if it was your son?
Sid Biggs.
What if
the next guest.
it's like your son, just like a little head
Little
barely
head just pops up.
above here, big glasses,
Cigar. It's Sid Biggs.
Today, I would like to pay tribute to a great man. Some called him Walter, others called him Heisenberg, but I called him Dad.